Okay, thank you for being here. It's a great honor for us to be at the legendary Savoy doing this presentation. Diego Hernandez Baquedano, I'm Benito Molina. We will be talking about Baja seafood, seafood Baja style, and we're basically going to tell you a little bit where we come from, what we do. What you're tasting is right now is an oyster with a pig strutter and abuloni with a tomato sauce. The abuloni we will do a demonstration at the end. Is this shell that is a unival. It's a it's one of the most expensive and most appreciated shellfish in the world. It has only one shell, as you can see. It sticks to the rock like this. And this one, it comes from, it's farm raised. It came in my bag with me on the plane. It's from Herendira. Herendira is about an hour and a half south from Ensenada. And they have been producing abuloni for a little over 20 years. Abuloni was almost extinct because due to overfishing in China and Japan is very appreciated, and Baja is one of the places that has more abuloni in the world, and they almost finish it all. So now we have the farm, and we work with the farm-raised abuloni. My restaurant is this year will be 15 years, and since we opened, abuloni has been on the menu. This abuloni is like 4 years old. A regular abuloni, or what people were used to eat, were abulonis like this big that were like 30, 40-year-old abulonis, and they overfished it, so they didn't reproduce, and it was a very big problem, ¿no? Entonces, pues, dele.
Well, I'm Diego Hernandez, and I was born and raised in Ensenada. In the first restaurant that I've ever worked was Manzanilla under Chef Benito. So basically, even if at my parents' house I used to eat this kind of seafood, I didn't learn how to cook it until I work under Benito. So everything I know about seafood is because of him. In Ensenada, Ensenada is also a very one of the most important port towns of Mexico because of the way we treat seafood. Since the beginning of 1900, we had a big migration of Japanese who took over the fisheries in the town. So the way we treat the fish in the fisheries around Ensenada is with a very respectful way, and that's why our seafood became very famous. That doesn't mean that in other ports there is no good seafood. It is, but the way the connections between the fisherman and the consumer is very short and is very good taken care of, and that's why we have this great quality seafood. Also, one of the big markets that is in Ensenada is for the tuna, which I think you are already
It's
trying.
the other dish. It's a green tuna ceviche.
The 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 tuna farms. It's like the big thing in Ensenada. Basically, like marine cowboys, they take little tunas into these big farms and they feed them with sardines until they get big. And the main consumer is Japan. So most of the tuna that Ensenada produce goes straight to the Tsukiji market in Tokyo. And because of the work of chefs like Benito, and now that Baja has a whole movement of using local ingredients, we managed to have these kind of products now like used in a very local way. That was something that 15 years ago wasn't happening. All these great ingredients were all shipped to Asia, but now you have in Ensenada you have local markets where regular people can just go and shop this kind of ingredients. So the way restaurants like Benito's, now mine, and other chefs have managed to work with local ingredients has created a market for local consumers too. And that same thing happened with all the vegetables too.
And it's very important to say Ensenada at some point was the most important tuna fishing port in the world. The yellowfin tuna run is one of the biggest ones in the world, runs through the Mexican Pacific. And at some point, the American tuna fleet used to fish in the Mexican waters. And when the 200-mile border or national waters was declared, so the American tuna fishing boats couldn't fish anymore on the Mexican coast. They did the tuna embargo that still goes on today. The U.S. doesn't buy tuna from Mexico since, I mean, it's like 25 years, something like that, maybe more. And that almost killed Ensenada. Ensenada was, the more tuna boats fishing in the world were in Ensenada at some point. So the town lived on the tuna. So when the tuna embargo from the States happened, it just almost killed the place. And it's a very sad story. The story says that we used to fish dolphins. So this is a very important part of my career. I work on a tuna boat. I did it twice because I wanted to see how true the dolphin story was. I was on a boat for the first trip 1 month at sea without seeing land. I was the last guy on the boat. I cooked dishes, washed the toilets, everything for 24 crew members during a whole month outside in the ocean fishing tuna. And no, it's not true, we don't fish dolphins. I mean, a few dolphins die, but I mean, the ratio is very, very small. Nothing compared to what was published or said. You know, it was said that we had a dolphin in the cans, and dolphin is a mammal, so it's a complete different type of thing. I mean, it's like venison, and tuna, well, it's of course a fish, so there is no way you can put dolphin in a can and say it's tuna. I mean, it doesn't happen. No? So Ensenada, that was a very big, a big hit. It almost killed the place. And the wine industry revived Ensenada. Today, Ensenada is the wine destination, the most important wine destination in the country. The Guadalupe Valley, the Santo Tomas Valley, and Ojos Negros also is where most of the wine in Mexico is produced. So we are blessed to have the best seafood in the country with the best wine and the best olive oil. So it was just a matter of putting everything together. So we have all these beautiful ingredients, and right now, my place is going to be 15 years now, and maybe for the past 8 years, Ensenada is now like the big hype. You can go to restaurants in Cancun, Mexico City, Guadalajara, Monterrey, and you will find the Ensenada oysters, the abalone, the tuna, the vegetables, and of course the wine. So it's a very influential place for Mexican gastronomy today, and that is due to the ingredients we have in this beautiful place. It's the currents that come to the surface in Ensenada come from Alaska, so it's very cold water, and this cold water makes all the shellfish and the seafood to be so good, and also makes the microclimate in the valleys for the wine and the olive trees.
Ensenada, like Benito said, is one of the most influential places now in Mexico, and I think it set like the starting point to the now revolution that Mexican cuisine is going through. But it wasn't just about the ingredients, but I think the main thing that started changing everything was the wine industry. So when the wineries, when people like Hugo da Costa, for example, thought about a project called Mexican wine, that wasn't something that was really going on 15 years ago. He thought about a chef who can cook Mexican food for Mexican wine. That's when Benito got into the game and come to Ensenada. So
we have Hugo da Costa in the back over there. He's the most important winemaker in the country. Un placer tenerlo aquí, vos.
Gracias. So this decision that looked very simple, it really generated something very different for the whole food movement in Mexico, because Benito and Hugo may have created an example of a very terroir concept, eating, wine, food from the soil and the ecosystem where it belongs. But also other thing that happened is that when great chefs like Juan María Arzac from Spain opened 2 restaurants in Mexico City, he brought 2 great chefs that now are friends, and they were looking for the best ingredients to cook Spanish food in Mexico, and they found these ingredients in Ensenada through Benito's restaurant and the wine country and all of this that was started happening. So they brought these ingredients to Mexico City, and that just set an example of how good Mexican ingredients can be. And I'm not saying that that Benito or Hugo or Bruno Teiza changed Mexico. What I'm saying is that little decisions can make big differences. And now, like maybe 10 years ago, everybody was shipping a lot of seafood and vegetables and cheeses from Ensenada to these big restaurants. But now every state in the country has these great traditional restaurants, but also great revolutionary restaurants and young chefs that are doing things locally. So now ingredients from Chiapas or from Tabasco or from Veracruz are now well known from all of us, and we share ingredients and we connect every dot, and that's what happened. That was really happening with Mexican food, and that's why you're hearing a lot about Mexican food movement now these days.
Yes, we have a wine festival called Las Fiestas de la Vendimia. This year is going to be the 25th year it's done. And this has been a crucial point in Mexican gastronomy because when I used to work for the winery, when Hugo was my boss in Santo Tomas, we started inviting chefs from central Mexico to Ensenada. The first time it happened, it was in '96, I think. The chef from the Four Seasons in Mexico City, his name is Glenn Eastman, he's an American chef. And another French guy went to do the big gala dinner. And in this big event, while they were in the kitchen, the fisherman came to the kitchen with a swordfish the size of this table. Hello, here it is. And the chef from the Four Seasons, I mean, his pants dropped. It was like, what? How do you get this in the door of the restaurant? Why don't I get this in Mexico City? I mean, I have to go to the fish market at 3 in the morning, and there is no swordfish this size in the market. So there was this guy in the kitchen. His name is Pablo Ferrer, an oceanographer from the university in Ensenada. That is also a very important point. The most important oceanography university in Mexico is in Ensenada. So there is this big scientist community in research of the sea, the ocean, the aquaculture, the abulonis race, like I was saying, oysters, mussels, different seaweeds. So this guy, Pablo Ferrer, who was an oceanographer from the university, was in the kitchen helping because he loves cooking. And he was there helping, and he heard the chef from the Four Seasons say, why don't I get this fish in Mexico City? And then he started shipping fish to the Four Seasons, and today he's the most important fishmonger in Mexico. So,
now he's in Top Chef Mexico.
See, he's now going to do Top Chef Mexico. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So Fiestas de la Vendimia is like a turning point in modern history in gastronomy and winemaking in Mexico. It was where it all came together. Thank you. Where it all came together in one place around the wine in like the Mexican Mediterranean as it is called, because I mean you can see the landscape there, and it could be south of Spain, south of Italy, it could be France. I mean, if they don't tell you it's Mexico, you wouldn't believe it. I mean, even for Mexicans, when they go there the first time, for me, it happened to me. When I went there the first time, I was like, wow, I never imagined that in my country we would have this beautiful Mediterranean landscape with the vines, the olive trees, and the best seafood, like we already said, no?
Yeah. The countryside where all the winemaking is going on, it's also a very important way in our cooking, because I believe that the surrounding inspires your methods or your way of doing things. And of course, when you have this great seafood and you're surrounded by this land, you just think of grilling it. You know, you just want to be outside and want to enjoy the weather and enjoy the view. So
it would be very important to mention that Diego's restaurant, Corazón de Tierra, it's in the Guadalupe Valley. He produces all his own vegetables. He has this beautiful orchard and, ¿cómo se diría?
Vegetable garden.
Vegetable garden. He produces all his vegetables. It's a beautiful place. It's a 6-room hotel, boutique hotel. If you ever visit there, that's the place to go. It's, I mean, this like Tuscan villa in the middle of the vineyards. Fantastic setup, and the restaurant is right next to the hotel. And the story is very nice. It's this couple who live in Hollywood Hills. They work in movie industry in California and the music industry. And then one day they sold their house in Hollywood and moved to the Valley of Guadalupe and built this beautiful 6-bedroom place. How many years ago?
like 11 years ago, 10, 11 years
And
ago.
the restaurant is going to be 3,
Four.
4 years?
Yeah.
And 4 years ago they opened the restaurant, beautiful restaurant. It's truly a fantastic place to visit in Mexico.
Yeah, and surprisingly, my partners, she's from London and he's from Manchester, so they are English. And yeah, what I do at the restaurant, I just try to keep going with the example that Benito and Hugo set for me, and the example of the flavor of the terroir, no, the soil, the the climate. That example, it comes of course from the winemaking, but as vines are living species, it's a plant. If you apply that same methods to, for example, a carrot or a radish, I believe that it also comes with the flavor of the soil, and that's what we do. And to me, it's not very important that something is local, because now local, it's a word that everybody's using, and everywhere you go everything is local now. But there is local grown in a greenhouse, or local grown on the open field direct into the soil, where the sun burns the plant, or where the cold kind of does the job in the plant. And by natural selection, not all the plants make it through all the season, but the plants that are really strong and that can support these weather changes and all of that, and have direct contact to the soil, a lot of the flavor from the place where they are planted comes straight to them. So it really makes a difference if you plant in the soil of the Valle de Guadalupe, or if you plant in the soil up in a hill that has different kind of earth. No, so to me, it's just trying to follow that example and understand a better way of what really a Baja cuisine could be, you know.
Okay, now I'm going to demonstrate how to take the abalone off the shell. We were going to cook it in here and show you how to do it, but they were afraid we were going to burn the room. So just show you how to take it off the shell. It's the abalone you tried. It's a
Sorry.
very easy thing. Here's the abalone, spoon, and the idea is to go with the spoon next to the shell. ¿Dónde está la cámara? Ahí estamos. Ahí está. Are we good there? Sí. Ahí está. So, very easy. You can see the shell has these beautiful colors inside. ¿Estamos? Once you take it off the shell, it has the guts here on the side. Take that off, and there is a head. You cannot really see it from here, maybe yes. It's the little two antennas here. Make a little cut between the antennas, and take the jaw out. And that would be the only part that is, I mean, it's not that it's inedible, it's cartilage. That would be the part you have to take off, is the jaw. And here then you would, I mean, the preparation starts from here. You can do anything else, anything you want after this. The Chinese cook it with the shell and the guts in, boil it for a long time. Me, I prefer to just sear it on one side and the other. That's it. And what you had was just a tomato sauce with olives. And that's how it has been in my menu for 15 years. It's a olive tomato sauce and epazote. Here we didn't have the epazote, which is a very typical herb from Mexico, very, very aromatic. And I think we're almost on time. I don't know if you have any questions.
Today at lunch, my dish has a little bit of abalone and the guts that are going to be dehydrated as a salt to season the dish. So you're going to get to taste a little bit of it.
So I don't know if there is any questions. Nada?
No? Well.
Okay, well, it was a great honor being here. Thank you for listening to us.
Thank you very much. Thank you for coming.